Hey Fragrance family, I'm Daver.
Sup, Jer.
And we're the Fragrance Bros! Coming at you this time with another discussion. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah.
But it's time we broke out the guns.
Settle into the couch.
Okay. Now this time we have, of course, a discussion on why we like negative reviews or contrary opinions on fragrances.
Yeah.
Now, the reason we're bringing this up is because there's been a lot of talk recently, and we've actually gotten flack before from our own people, from subscribers on our own channel, who they'll see videos like we have on 1 Million or Musgrave Azure, Gucci Guilty, some other ones that are the One Sport, things that we just really did not like at all.
Yeah.
And so we kind of said some harsh things about it. We gave it a bad score, things like that. So we've actually gotten some flack from people.
Yeah. From, you know, a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
From fellow reviewers, from other subscribers, from base notes.
Yeah, base notes. Now that was funny.
Yeah.
Apparently we're trolling the community, guys.
Everything we say, on purpose, to troll.
That's right.
Even this right now, purposeful trolling.
That's right. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
But so, we wanted to also clarify what our channel is. So whenever we started Fragrance Bros, I was watching video reviews, and I noticed that there are two types of reviewers out there. Both have their importance and both serve a place in the fragrance community. The first person is someone who gives their advice and explains a fragrance without really giving much of their opinion. And we'll call those journalistic reviewers. And they go in there and they describe everything so a person can say it, but they don't give their personal opinions about it, so trying not to color
just
the
objectivity.
Objectivity. Try to be. And that serves an important role. A great person that's like this is Cubby. Cubby goes in there and he talks about a fragrance, doesn't really give much of his personal opinions. He kind of likes all the reviews, so to speak, but mostly it's generally...
it's just data, it's just information.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there are other ones too that verge more on that line, like I'm thinking Drakdoc, even Robes 08. They have their opinions, but mostly it's kind of more of a journalistic type approach. The other camp are those that give their opinions, whether good or bad.
Okay.
And that is what we call editorial. And where, just like in a newspaper or periodical or something like that, you have the journalistic approach, which is supposed to be, not opinionated. And then you have the editorial, which they just give their opinion, doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
We're in the editorial camp. And they serve an important role too, because whenever I was watching reviews, sometimes I would say, yeah, but what do you really think about a fragrance? You can tell me everything about a fragrance, but do you really like it?
Yeah.
Do you really hate it?
Yeah.
You know, and I found it hard to believe that sometimes there were some fragrances that I found horrible that they loved, and that, you know, and vice versa. It seemed like some people just loved every single fragrance.
Yeah.
And I felt like that sometimes that was not valuable to me.
Yeah.
Even though it was valuable to a lot of people, to me sometimes I really just wanted someone just to say, this sucks, don't waste your time, but try it. And I love this. This is definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
So one thing I really appreciate about contrary or negative review is that there's passion involved in this. Someone's going in there and not really to necessarily rip apart a fragrance. I don't think really any reviewer who's worth their salt really goes into a review thinking, oh man, I'm just going to tear this a new one. There's a million likes about this, but I'm going to just totally rip this apart.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone goes into that.
Yeah.
And in our defense, you know, we have said some of that about like Musgrave Azure. Musgrave Azure, very popular in the fragrance community. We hate it.
Yeah.
Okay? And we hate it for a reason.
Yeah.
And we explain that in the video.
And we don't hate it because people like it.
Exactly. There are other fragrances that we love that everyone else loves. Original Santal is one prime example. Terre d'Hermes, Aventus. These are all fragrances that we love that everyone else loves.
I really like B-Man.
Yeah.
Me and two other people.
That's right.
Brad Scott and who's the other guy?
I don't know. I think a subscriber.
Ryan Thompson maybe or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Just us. Yeah.
We're friends. Yeah. So in our defense, I don't think that we actually go out there purposely to rip apart a fragrance. And I don't, you know, really, I don't think there's much of a trend in, if I were to be honest, because I think, you know, some have said that there's a trend that people go into a fragrance review and purposely try to knock a fragrance off its pedestal.
Yeah.
I don't really see that. I kind of actually see the opposite, because the fragrance community is kind of bloated. I mean, if we're all honest, there are so many reviewers out there that are vying for attention. I think really the trend is to try to do fragrances that we've all heard before, and then say positive things about all these good reviews, so you can get views and likes and subscribers and such like that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the beautiful things about having two guys is it's two different opinions.
Yeah.
And our approach has always been, not that we can't appreciate the art of fragrance, because I think we can. I think I do, and we both do.
Yeah.
But we try to review from a perspective of the average guy. The average guy who doesn't know much about fragrance, who's looking to make a purchasing decision.
Yeah.
Is it worth my money and worth my time? And, you know, people have different opinions. They're going to have different opinions. And if it's okay for people to go all the way on the extreme of loving a thing, then you can't get mad when other people go on the extreme of hating the thing.
Right, exactly.
Because not everyone is gonna like the same thing. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I don't think people, I mean, I have a hard time imagining a person going in thinking, I'm gonna bash this fragrance, not because I really don't like it, but just because I want to make a name for myself.
Right.
I mean, how petty, how small of a, you know, I don't think anybody really does that. If they do, shame on you for doing that, you know. I think that we always endeavor to be as honest as possible, and we feel the way that we feel about certain things. You know, we thought D&G The One Sport was garbage.
It was garbage.
that's just the way I feel. We think Muscovy Jour not as garbage, but we don't like the way that, you know, you see
exactly.
Right. We had specific opinions about the way it smelled. So, I mean, we're not going to be ashamed of that, nor are we going to blunt it just because it goes against the grain for some people. You know, it's just, we're being honest.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauty things that, you know, like you said, that's what I really love about our channel. I mean, if I can say I love my channel, but that's what I really love is that even you and I disagree.
Yeah.
There's times when you love a fragrance and I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a benefit to our viewers, that they see that it's not just one person.
Yeah.
It's a discussion that we're trying to bring.
Yeah.
But for other reviewers, you know, I really love watching other reviewers say they love something, but knowing that if they love it, they're going to love it.
Yeah.
And not that they just love every fragrance.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I really love about the editorial reviewers, like Brad, like Christo is one, some other ones out there, is that, you know, if they hate a fragrance, I know that they hate it for a reason.
Yeah.
If they love a fragrance, there's contrast there.
Yeah.
And you can, if you have all negative reviews, then then you have something wrong. But I also think if you have all positive reviews, there's something wrong there too.
Yeah.
It to me, it kind of lends a little bit of uncredibility when I see all positive reviews.
Yeah.
But you know, the other thing too is there are certain fragrances out there that they're so popular that they're going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And the more attention it gets, the more negatives it's going to get, just by the sheer number of people that are liking it or
just
hating it.
Per capita.
Yeah, just per capita.
It's going to happen.
And you know, personally, I think we've discussed this before, no fragrance should get a free pass.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care who makes it. I don't care if Jean-Claude Elena makes it, which we're in the process of reviewing the entire Hermescence line.
Yeah.
And we don't give all his fragrances a free pass.
Yeah.
There's some fragrances we adore.
Yeah.
And then there's some that we think are garbage.
Yeah.
But that's just because we're looking at it for the average person to save money.
Yeah.
And you know, that's I think that's really good.
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation with another reviewer one time. I'm not going to say who and the context or whatever, but we were talking about maybe one person likes a note and one person does not like a note, and that person who does not like a note reviews a fragrance with that intention of going into a note. Say we don't like clove. Obviously we don't like clove. We'll say, you know, we know we don't like clove, and then we review Muscovy Jour. Is that review then worthless because we already don't like clove?
Yeah.
And I say no, because maybe not all fragrances are equal. Say there is a clove note in like Sombre Negra.
Yeah.
And we adore that.
Yeah. You look at rose. We historically don't like rose.
Yeah.
There's a particular rose fragrance we're going to talk about soon that we both do like.
Absolutely.
So it's just the way in which it's used. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think that even if you don't like a note, or if you love a note, that if you're honest about it, and you like some reviewers are, say you absolutely adore the clove note in something else.
Yeah.
Well, then if everyone knows you don't like clove, but then you absolutely love this one fragrance, they're gonna be like, oh man, that must be really good then.
I gotta check this one out.
Yeah.
You know, there's this funny thing going on, and if you'll think about it for a minute, I think you'll agree. A lot of times when you watch a video, especially the editorial kind of like you're talking about, you really go into it looking for the reviewer to validate your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you go into this review and you love this fragrance and then they say they love it, you're like, yeah, see, it's awesome. And if you think it sucks and they say it sucks, you're like, finally someone agrees with me, you know.
Exactly.
So and you'll see a lot of comments like that on our channel of people saying that. So you kind of go into it already biased, unless it's a fragrance you've never heard of, which I think most people in the FragCom have heard of all fragrances to some degree, and they have some opinion of it going in, I think.
Yeah.
So if you go in loving something and then we hate it, well, of course you're going to disagree.
Yeah.
You know, but don't get mad. We just have a different opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay.
And you know, I love it when someone comments on our channel or on a particular fragrance and they're civil about it, and they say, you know, I really disagree with you here. I really love this fragrance, and here's why.
Yeah.
Well, I love those comments because, you know, it means we're all different, and those comments can help someone else.
Yeah.
And we always say, you know, we don't like it, but you should smell it.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think?
Yeah.
And I think that serves an important role. You know, if we all think that certain fragrances get a free pass, at what point does it cease to become a community and it becomes a cult?
Yeah.
You know, the cult of the fragrance.
That's right.
You know, all bow down to L'Instant de Colognes, extreme.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I first started getting into fragrances and watching reviews, there was this funny dynamic where if I didn't like a fragrance and I was, or maybe I was on the fence and I was trying to just make a buying decision, I would watch a bunch of different reviews. And some people would love it, some people would hate it. But eventually someone would say a thing that was like a watershed moment. Finally I got it and I was like, okay, that makes sense to me. Now I know I do want to try this.
Right.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, okay, I don't. And it was the value of the different opinions and the different, not just an opinion, but the way people present things, the way they say things. Sometimes just the right phrase can really just click with you. You know what I mean? A word or a phrase, and you just think, gotta buy this now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think with Individuel, we're not solely responsible or anything like that, but we talked about it, how much we liked it. I know a lot of people bought it as a result of that video.
Yeah.
And
I hope they loved it.
They should. It was awesome. But, you know, I think people were just, you know, maybe something in the way that we talked about it sparked their interest, and people have done that for me, other reviewers. So hopefully we do that for you guys.
I think that's all we have to say.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I don't think we need to defend ourselves in any way. And, you know, we're not mad at it at all.
No.
I don't care if Base Notes says the things they do, even though we see it.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a thread on Base Notes that we read where people were talking about Pure Leather, I think it was the...
Pure Leather, yeah.
Yeah, someone got up on a tangent about us, and so 3 or 4 or 5 comments about how, you know, this one...
Some said some good things. And some said some not so good things.
I mean, I think most of it's good, but this one guy said that he watches us just so he can know what not to think about fragrances.
Yeah,
because he disagrees with everything that we say.
And you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because at least he watches our videos and he knows that in some way we're going to help him.
Yeah.
Because we're exactly the opposite of him.
Are we consistent at least?
Exactly. Exactly.
Consistently opposite of him. But I mean, you know, again, we are. I don't think that we're terribly sensitive, and you know, we try to have a good time, and we value your opinion, even if it's different from ours, and we'd love to hear it. So
yeah, absolutely. That's why we invite you to speak your mind in the comments.
Yeah.
As long as it's civil, that's our only rule.
Yeah.
If it's not civil, it will go in the trash.
Yeah.
So
don't be a wanker.
Yeah.
Because we're not. So
no wankerisms.
Nope.
Anyway, we'll see you next time. We're the Fragrance Brothers. Bye.